YouTube channel. My name is Ayosimi, and here on this channel you're going to be getting content on travel, lifestyle, sports, and especially if you're an Arsenal fan, you're going to get loads of content on this channel. Stay glued to it. So we're also going to be talking about fashion and also everything about nursing immigration to the UK, nursing lifestyle in the UK, getting jobs in the UK. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about how to become a registered nurse in the UK. Wherever you're coming from all over the world, the process is basically the same thing. But I'm going to be specifically talking about Nigerian nurses. Of course, because I'm Nigerian, I came from Nigeria and I know a lot about the process in Nigeria. So I'm going to specifically be mentioning Nigeria, but then everyone can benefit from this video because it's the same process from all over the world. So for Nigerian nurses, you have to be a registered nurse in Nigeria. That means you have to be registered with the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. Either you finished from the schools of nursing or you went to the university, you're a BSc nurse. The process is the same thing. Be a registered nurse in Nigeria. That's the first thing. And being a registered nurse means you have your license to practice in Nigeria. Now, your license to practice has to be up to date because the NMCN, that's the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, would not verify you to the NMC UK if your license is not up to date. So the first thing you have to do is make sure your license is up to date. Another thing is make sure you have make sure you have your international passport. Make sure you have your international passport. Okay, so once you have your license, you have your passport for identification. An internationally recognized means of identification. Then the next thing for you to do is go on the NMC UK website. That's the Nursing and Midwifery Council UK. Go on their website. Look for the part of it that says register as a nurse, as an international nurse, international registered nurse trying to get on the register. You would see something like that on the website. Click on it and then it will put you through on how to register. The first thing you would do though is create an account with the NMC UK. So you create an account with them and put in all your details and everything, and then they will ask which register you are currently on, that is which council you are registered with. So that will be the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. So once that is once you've put in the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, then you will have to pay the sum of £140 to the NMC UK. Now here, people usually have issues with the payment because our debit cards in Nigeria would not allow you to pay directly. I think it's something that has to do with the is it daily international currency limit. I think it's something about that. So most people get their relatives over here to make that payment for them. So once you have made that payment, then the NMC would require the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria to verify you, to verify that, okay, this person is on our register. Once that is done, basically, to do that, you have to contact NMCN first. That's the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. You have to contact NMCN. You have to, there's a process. You pay to them. You get them to, okay, like we said, your license must be up to date. So you pay to them, you submit a form, then they will verify you to the NMC. The moment you are verified by the NMC and the NMC UK will contact you to let you know that you have been verified, and then they can start to process your registration with them. Now, two things you have to do is make sure you have a language requirement. There are two ways you can fulfill that requirement. Either you write IELTS IELTS is IELTS, and the band requirement to get on that register is you have to achieve a band 7 in reading, speaking, and listening. Then you can, if you have a 6.5 in writing, it will still be accepted by the NMC, the UK. Now you can use 2 sittings of IELTS results. Before now, it used to be 2 sittings within 6 months. Now the NMC UK has changed it to 2 sittings within 1 year. So if you write 2 IELTS within a year, you can combine both, as long as both of them helps you to meet the language requirement for joining the NMC UK register. Now that's that about. Then you can also do OET. OET is a bit more expensive than, not a bit, it's almost twice the amount you pay for IELTS. But then it's also, it's easier for some people, so a lot of people go for the OET. And it's also a way of achieving your language requirement. So once you've done the 2, you've achieved your English language requirements, then you'll be expected to write a CBT test. That CBT test also, once the NMCN has verified you with the NMC UK, then they will send an email to you. NMC UK will send you an email, and we usually target the authorization to test email. That email helps you to know that, okay, I can go for my CBT test now. And the body that actually gives the test, that provides the test, is Pearson VUE. Pearson VUE will also immediately send you another email. Immediately NMC UK sends you an email. Pearson VUE will send you an email as well to tell you, okay, if you want, you can register for your test on so. These are the test providers. There are loads of test providers in Nigeria, though not all of them are ready to provide the test all the time. Not all of them are always ready to provide the test. So if they give you a list of people and you find the one that is close to your location, I would advise that you ring them, call them, or if it's close to you, go there physically to be sure that they are ready to provide you the test. Because it happened to me that I was just sure, oh, this place is very close to me, and then I picked the test center. I mean, like a couple of days to the test. No. I picked the test center and I wanted to make payment. I didn't know how to make payment. So it was just a messed up thing. I called them eventually and they were like, oh, sorry, we are not ready we can't provide the test at this moment. It was just a messed up thing. So what I did eventually was I had to keep calling. Every test center I pick, I'll call them, and then to be sure that they are ready to provide the test at that time. So you paying for the test, because paying for the test is also you're not paying in Naira. I mean, you also have to pay to Pearson VUE. So sometimes the test provider can pay for you, can pay on your behalf. But I think, how did I pay for mine? I actually paid to Pearson VUE. I think someone helped me to pay as well. But your test provider can help you pay for your test. And, that just makes life easy for you and everything. The test is about, how much is it now? £60, something or thereabout. I'm not really sure of the amounts off the top of my head right now. But that's that about it. So once you have achieved your English language requirement and the CBT test, once you have passed your CBT test, then you're ready to go. The moment you have both, you can start applying for jobs in the UK. Now, job application is a totally different topic that we're going to talk about in subsequent videos. But right now, let's just skip over it. So you can start applying for jobs, and once you get a job, attend the interview virtually. Once you get the job, once you get the job, you are given the job, then they'll send you your letter of your what is it now? They'll send you your job offer letter. You'll be sent a job offer letter. Once you get the job offer letter, then make sure at this point, I know, at this point you're so jazzed up, you're so happy. Oh, I got a job. But then this is just the beginning of your journey, and you have to be very, very careful at this point, because see, your job offer is very important. You have to read from every letter. You have to read every letter of your job offer. You have to read everything and understand everything. If you do not understand, just give it to someone else to read and understand and tell you what it means, because a lot of things could be hidden in your job offer, and not everything that glitters is gold. We all know that already. So one thing you have to also watch out for is the number of hours you're going to be working. Watch out for your contract, the length of your contract. Watch out for the amount of money you're going to be paid. Now, let me explain this part to you. There are two amounts of money you'll be paid. You'll be paid as a pre-registered nurse before you become a registered nurse. Becoming a registered nurse means that you have gotten to the UK, you have done the practical aspect of it. The CBT is the theoretical aspect. You have to do the practical aspect, which you call OSCE. After doing your OSCE and you have passed, then the NMC will, conclude on your registration and decide to give you a PIN, personal identification number, as a nurse in the UK. Until you have that PIN, you are not a nurse in the UK. So coming over is still not you being a nurse in the UK, but it's part of the process of being a nurse in the UK. So now you have to know how much they're going to pay you as a pre-registered nurse and how much they're going to pay you as a registered nurse. Everything will be stated in your job offer letter. So look at it properly. If you think it's something that is not okay, then don't be afraid to either negotiate with the employer or find another employment. Guys, if you take the wrong offer because you want to get out of Nigeria in a hurry, you may not like yourself when you get here. You may be working with bitterness. The work in itself is hard enough. You can't afford to be bitter while working and unhappy about it. So look very well at your job offer and ensure that it's something you're able to live with. So that's that about that. Once you've settled the area of your job and your job offer, then you are almost ready to come to the UK. Now, at this point, your employer will apply to the Home Office for what we call a COS. Maybe you've heard about it before. We call it Certificate of Sponsorship, COS. Now, your COS is the most important document for you and your travel to the UK. Your employer will apply for that from the Home Office. The Home Office would give the employer, will provide them with the COS, and your employer will send it to you. Now, when you have your COS, don't be too happy yet. Please read your COS properly. Make sure your name is correct, because that COS is what you're going to use to apply for your visa. If something is wrong, then you'll be surprised that, even though I've never heard that someone is denied visa with a COS before, well, that would happen if your information does not tally with information of the COS. So check that your name is correct. Check that your address, that all your details are correct, your date of birth, everything is correct. Once you're sure all those are correct, then you need to check for one very important thing on your COS, and that is, there's a question in the COS that says, is the employer certifying maintenance for the applicant? and family. They make it applicant and family. That question is the most important question in your COS. And you have to be sure that the answer in front of it is yes. Is the employer certifying maintenance for the applicant and family? Just make sure the answer is yes. If the answer is no, I've seen a COS where the answer is no. That is wrong, because what it means is that you have to now provide the home office with your own bank statement. It means your employer is saying, I'm not certifying maintenance for them, so they have to, he or she and his or her family would have to look for their own money to bring themselves over to the UK, and that is wrong. This process says your employer should certify maintenance for you. So make sure the answer, sometimes it's a mistake on the part of the employer. They just mistakenly click on no. It's not deliberate. So you as the applicant, you have to be sure that the answer written in front of it is Y. Written in front of it is Y. That's yes. Y for yes, because it will be Y or N. So if it is Y, then it will be, that means it's yes. If it's N, that means it's no. So once that area is settled, your COS is correct, then you can go ahead and apply for your visa. Now, sorry, there's one aspect I actually missed out. You can't apply for your visa until you've done the TB test, because you're going to be living in the UK for a long time, for more than 6 months at a time. And that requires you to have a TB test. And the TB test is done by IOM, International something migration, IOM. They are the ones giving the test. There are 2 test centers in Lagos and 1 in Abuja. So whichever one, apply for your book the test online. It's online. All the bookings and everything are done online. Look for a test, book it online, pay for it, look for a test center, and go and carry out the test. It's a TB test. You just do a chest X-ray. That's what they're going to do. But then a lot of things are involved in that. So it's migration is really not a very, very straightforward thing. It's not something that is very, very easy and simple, but then at the end of the day, it's worth it. So once you have your TB test, from the IOM, you also have to do a police clearance. Now, police clearance is done by Alagbon. So you find people who help with that. So once that is done, you have your police clearance, you have your TB test result, then you're ready to apply for your visa. Just pick up your phone, go to the uk.gov.uk website, apply for your test. Make sure you're applying from because it's health and social care visa. That's what you're applying for. So apply for your visa, go for your biometric, and get your visa. Now you have obtained your visa. I'm happy for you. It's actually a joyous thing. Yeah, you'll be happy. Family, everyone will be happy for you. I'm also happy for you. Now at this point, you're ready to come to the UK. You and your employer will talk about your accommodation. Most employers give accommodation for people who are coming to the UK, for the first time as nurses. They give you accommodation, free accommodation for 1 month or 3 months, depending on. And for some employers, they give you until you're ready to move out of the accommodation. So you're ready to come to the UK. At this point, there are loads of things you cannot bring to the UK, and there are some things you can bring to the UK. We'll talk about it in subsequent videos as well. But for the purpose of this video, you are ready to come to the UK, and then you book your flight ticket and you come. And we are happy to welcome you to the UK. Okay, so like I said, there are still loads of things that I had to skip over for the purpose of this video. In the next video, we are going to talk in depth about some of these things. So watch out for the next video. Meanwhile, before you leave, kindly like this video, share the video, let everybody, benefit from the things I have said, and please subscribe to my channel. So I'll see you in the next video. We'll talk in depthly about a lot. of other things. Thank you, and bye-bye.